So my fun story for you is my internet's working fine, and then my landlord comes over. And so first, I'm outside, I'm walking the dog, I'm coming home, and then this guy pulls in that is clearly not my landlord. He pulls up and is like, "Hey, I'm Dan. Me and your landlord are gonna hang out tonight." I was like, "Okay, cool, have a good time." And then my landlord gets here, he kind of does the same thing where he's like, we talk about the snow for a little bit, and he goes, "Yeah, me and my buddy Dan are gonna hang out for a little bit." And I was like, "All right, cool. Like, have a good time. It's your fucking house. I don't give a shit."
Is he like trying to like finesse and get you to come hang out or something?
N- I, I let me just continue.
All right, I
So then what proceeds to happen is I was like listening to music or something for a little while when they first got here. I finally took the headphone out and started making dinner, and I just hear like from upstairs, and then the other dude, Dan, being like, "Yeah, you want to slowly breathe in and then really huff it out really fast. Just." And then
are they doing like whippets?
I don't fucking know. It sounded like they were doing some like weird tantric sex yoga. Like it didn't sound good. It sounded weird.
I
And
like how you said weird tantric sex yoga when all of those any one of those words would have just been
any one of
awesome.
those is enough, but all of them together is what it sounded like. So they're doing whatever that was. And I can hear Dan coaching him through different, I guess, positions. I'm assuming and hoping it was, maybe not hoping, I'm assuming it was yoga. I don't want to put any implications on this guy's life. So he's coaching him through positions, coaching him through breathing. And then next in the sequence, they started listening to EDM throat singing and singing along. So they're singing along to throat singing. I can hear both of them going wah, wah, upstairs, which so I was like, well, obviously we're also on drugs.
Like Apex Twin? What are we talking?
I don't fucking know. I should have Shazammed it or something because it wasn't half bad, but I was very confused. And then the next step is the next thing was they started listening to some sort of like, okay, so here was the deal. They're listening to the EDM throat singing. There was a brief pause that was about 60 seconds long where the music was completely shut off, and then I just heard both of them at full volume go, "Woo!" one time. And then immediately following, they started listening to a more, like, we switched themes to a more melancholy, but it was tribal trance music. And they were also attempting to sing along to that. And then at some point, they got in the hot tub. Somewhere in the middle of all of this, they played Freebird one time and then switched back to tribal trance music. About 1:30 in the morning, they went to bed. And somewhere in all of this, the vibe that I got from the upstairs, I was just kind of imagining we're on sort of mushroom trip and maybe seeking some life answers, and perhaps it got a little gay at one point. And I was just, have you ever seen The Notebook?
No.
There's a scene in The Notebook where the two love interests are standing across from each other, I think in like in an abandoned house or something. And there's soft music playing, and they're just taking off one article of clothing at a time and just watching each other slowly undress. And that's kind of what I pictured happening upstairs. And then the next morning when I woke up, they were both gone, like before 9 a.m. And I can only imagine it was out of some weird, like, what did we do last night?
I imagine it was more of like a 4 a.m. like we got to go get coconuts right now. Get in the
Maybe.
car.
But the Wi-Fi, the second they showed up, has stopped working. And then I went to go mess with it the next morning when I realized they were both gone. And there was like fuzzy pillows and blankets everywhere in the living room. And like one bag of chips and one jar of peanut butter on the counter.
They was having sleepover.
That's all that I know about their evening. It seemed just Like maybe it got a little interesting.
Was the peanut butter intact?
I honestly haven't looked. I've been scared.
It's fair. All right. Well, that was the story about Rachel's bullshit and that we have a podcast at home.
You can't start it like that.
And I'm on brand gamage.
That was horrible. I'm restarting this.
All right.
Welcome to We Have That Podcast at Home. I'm on brand Rachel, and I enjoy slurping pudding out of a taquito.
Dumb bitch. I'm on brand gamage. And this is our off-brand podcast. It's the only podcast approved by grandmothers. I got a letter from my grandmother.
I got a letter from mine.
I remember opening it and going, wait a minute, she's dead.
Oh my God, me too. That's crazy.
But then I found out it was just like a telemarketer pretending to be my grandmother. It's fucked up.
That's wild. Each week, we play Russian roulette with our success and spin a wheel to find out whose grandma is going to choose the genre of next week's podcast.
This week, we're attempting the fine art of IRL. Specifically, we're doing watchword. More specifically, it's embarrassment. We're talking about embarrassment.
Do you say specifically we're doing what? Watchword was what I heard come out of your mouth.
Yeah, watchword. That's what I'm calling it.
What the fuck? Because
You didn't read any of the things I sent you, and that bothers me.
What things did you send me?
Here, let me see if I could find it and then fucking pin it.
You just sent me a croissant emoji the other day. That's all I've gotten from you.
You have been pinged.
Watchworld is what I'm calling this segment. Oh, I forgot you're trying to rename it.
Oh my God, I love that. That's brilliant, she said.
Why is it called Watchworld?
Yeah, it's Watch...
Is that
it's
what
not
they're...
Watch World. Nobody ever said Watch World. There's no L's in that word that you're reading right now.
Why
I
is
didn't
Watchword...
even say it with an L.
All right, why the fuck is it called Watchword?
Because it's a word that you watch. Like, why is this your hang-up?
I don't understand it.
Anyway, this week specifically, we're doing embarrassment, like how I have an embarrassing podcast partner.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do want to clarify that we'll be leaning more towards embarrassment and not cringe. The difference being that embarrassment happens firsthand through awareness. Cringe is usually secondhand. Like seeing someone else do something embarrassing, like my co-host, that they aren't necessarily aware of, like watching them do something and like getting secondhand embarrassment from that, that's cringe. But we're not focused on that. We're focused on embarrassment.
That's what this entire podcast is going to be. We're going to talk about embarrassing things, and me and you and the listener are going to experience what cringe is, which is secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Let's see. How should we start this?
I say we just run down the line. There's a couple that should be
I wanted to do brackets.
It should be 1-1.
And I thought you were going to set it up, but apparently you decided to shit the bed instead. And that's fine.
No.
That's fun.
No.
That's fun for me.
I
That's
offered to do brackets long ago, and you kept telling me no.
I never said that. Never once.
Also, I got really invested in a project, and I kind of forgot.
Start jotting down every awkward social interaction, and we'll put them into brackets.
Yeah, I know.
And then...
it's fine.
How many do we want to do?
This on the fly.
We should
Are
get
you
them
ready?
all first, and we could randomize it.
Well, yeah, I was gonna do it like 2 days ago, and then I got really invested.
You just 10 minutes ago looked at this document.
I understand. I fucked up. Are you ready?
It's fine. I fucked up last week, so we're good.
World's worst podcasting hosts. Welcome. Wait. All right, the first bracket. Forgetting to watch a movie to talk about our pop culture episode, or forgetting to add things to our embarrassment list to talk about our real life watchword episode.
I definitely didn't forget to watch.
You did not actually watch the same movie twice. Do not bullshit me. There's no way.
Wait, what?
Your excuse last week was that you already watched Highlander. You were going to explain Highlander 2.
That is what I told people, but no. What happened was I ended up being sick and I had to edit 2 episodes that week, and I only had couple days to do it. And then I remember having one like moment where I had a 2-hour period where I'm like, I could watch a movie. And then I looked up Toxic Avenger, which is what we agreed.
And it's
and
so
Toxic
long.
Avenger. No, well, Toxic Avenger wasn't available on any streaming platform, and I'm like, I'm not even going to pirate this. I'm not going to do it. So I watched Damsel instead. I liked it. I didn't want to use that for this episode, though.
Okay, I have our first bracket.
Oh yeah,
Bracket number 1.
Where do you have this bracket?
No, we're just going for it. I was gonna compare.
So we're just reading down the list.
Well, I was gonna compare like things, but then I was like, there's really easy ones. So some of them I'm gonna do that, and then some of them I'm not. I'm gonna just do back to back. All right, first bracket: farting in public, or saying "you too" in response to I guess anybody when it's not a correct context, as in at me as the waiter saying "have a nice lunch" and you saying "you too."
Now, these are low stakes because I don't mind the whole "you too" thing. Like, because honestly, maybe I want my waiter to have a nice lunch.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. I feel like,
but I also just avoid saying "you too" in general. Like, I'll just be like "thanks" or like "no problem." Like, I keep it very simple. I don't say "you too" just to keep that out. Farting is I would argue a little bit more embarrassing because it depends on the kind of fart that comes out. Like, if you're just like, I'm pretty sure this is like a silent one, and it's just like a vocal cacophonous
I just
trumpet.
Saw, there's some subreddit called Too Hot Takes. There was this.
Yes.
Did you see this too? There was a guy and a girl both went on a date and they both posted on this subreddit. And she basically, the premise was she talked about how important honesty is to her. And then they're on this date and he ripped fat ass. And she said it smelled disgusting and awful. And then she was like, let's just move on. And he decided to double down and be like, no, I didn't fart. That wasn't me. That was the chair. And then aggressively tried to like recreate the sound with the chair. And then she didn't call him back.
But I mean, also, you don't want to like just have your ass smell just marinate the room. That's pretty bad. So I think saying "you too" is a very low stake. I think farting in public is the winner here.
Yeah, I would agree that farting in public is significantly more embarrassing. Okay, you space out, but your eyesight is towards someone's genitals or boobs, and they caught you looking, or you space out and you've been locked in direct eye contact with someone unintentionally. Which is worse?
This one's very, very easy for me.
Go for it.
Because okay, let me preface by, I'm not actively staring at people's cleavage breastises.
Breastises.
But there have been, on more than one occasion, situations where, like, if I were working at Staples, this happened a bunch there, where I'm asked a question by a woman that I don't have an immediate answer for. So my ADHD brain needs, like, a moment to calculate that shit. So I go inattentive and kind of space out. And then what happens is that my concentration is broken by the movement in front of me of said woman moving to cover her breasts, which have been in my direct line of sight for the last several seconds. Now, I wasn't just blatantly staring, but I'm in this hellishly impossible scenario where I can't just go, oh no, see, I wasn't looking at your tits. I was just spacing out in the vicinity of where they are because I was thinking of the answer to your question because my brain is broken and needs resources to formulate a response. That's a lose-lose scenario.
Yeah, it is.
Easily probably the most embarrassing thing that has happened to me, and it has happened frequently enough to burn an image in my head.
Is it the image of their boobs?
No. see, if I were looking, I'd be like, like, haha, got me, but, I got a peek, so kick ass. But that's not what happened, is because what do you do? What do you do? You can't, sorry, no, I see that you're hiding your breasts, but I want you to know that I wasn't looking at your breasts.
I now see that you're covering the thing I was looking at, but I wasn't looking at those, okay?
You see, I have a condition.
It's called boobasite.
That one wins. Spacing out and locking eyes with someone, that happens. I've done that. It is embarrassing, but the boob thing is such a personal thing to
Maybe
me.
it's as a girl human, it's not as weird to accidentally come to and you're just like staring at someone's body part because people don't assume I'm ogling them.
Yeah.
Because I think that like if I come to and I'm staring like, because I'm not staring at your crotch or your boobs, so if I'm staring, I'm just like, oh, whatever, like I just came out of my spacing out. But if I'm staring at your eyes when I stop spacing out, it's now fucking weird.
Yeah, it also helps that like you're not the usual suspect. Like I
Yes,
am
exactly.
like overweight, bearded, glasses guy. Like I look like I'm looking at everybody's
You fit
cleavage
the archetype.
automatically. Yeah, it's kind of unfair and it sucks, but those are the cards I was dealt.
That's how Brittany fell in love with you. She said that man
That
looks
is
at my
actually
cleavage. Okay, I would agree with you that I think if someone's like thinking that you are looking at their genitals or boobs when you finish spacing out, that is significantly more awkward than just staring into someone's eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. We gotta gauge this on the reaction of the person.
Yes, I agree.
Like,
I think for the other party, that's significantly, like, they're going to make you feel significantly more uncomfortable. Okay, clogging someone else's toilet or getting too wasted and throwing up at a house party.
I have done all of that.
Yes.
Sometimes in the same night.
Yes. I think clogging the toilet's worse. I guess it depends on where you throw up, though. Like, if you throw up on the carpet in the middle of the living room, that fucking sucks. Because you can discreetly clog a toilet, but...
I've definitely thrown up, like, outside, like, right outside their door, like, near their porch. And I've thrown up in their toilet.
I threw a house party once, and 2 vomiting situations happened. One was someone walked about 5 feet outside the front door and threw up in the plants next to the front door, and then profusely apologized for days. And then the other person brought their own blender to make margaritas at the house party, which was the best shit ever, by the way, because they were just walking around finding different plugs in the house and making margaritas at different spots in the house. And at one point, they got too fucked up, so they brought themselves and their blender to the bathroom, but they threw up like all over the walls and the toilet and the floor. Thank God everything was tile because people have come to from carpeting bathrooms. But they cleaned it, so it was kind of fucking hilarious. I'm gonna go with clogging a toilet. I do feel like
throwing... I agree, yeah. Like, throwing up at a house party is, like...
It's to be expected.
It is kind of embarrassing, but, like, it's very expected and very, like, hey, no big deal. That's kind of what happens at these.
Yeah.
Clogging someone else's toilet is, like, shame. Like, first of all, I was caught shitting at anybody else's house. That's number one. Number two is...
Other people knowing you're pooping is already awful. I don't know why. It's
not even that.
Considering that's a normal human thing, but other people knowing you're pooping always sucks.
Oh man, just be thankful you don't have to worry about urinals, because like if for some reason, and I've definitely not on this list, at least not anymore, but for some reason when men go to the bathroom, they like try to pee on the side of the toilet, like the wall of the toilet instead of the water, because they're like they don't want to be heard peeing. Nobody knows why.
No, I feel like the same thing happens, not like the same thing happens in the women's restroom, but I feel like when everybody comes together to use a public restroom where there's multiple stalls, everybody tries not to sound like they're in there for the one or two things you go in there for. 3 if you count vomiting.
I mean, also, nobody wants to be that person that's just like fucking letting it
ripping ass.
Where, like, you enter a public bathroom and it's just, like, a guy grunting and just, like, lots of noises, lots of smells. And you're like, this is why I don't come here anymore.
This is not good.
Yeah, nobody wants to be that person, and I get it. I understand it.
But also, like, what do you go to a bathroom for? To rip ass. I get both
Yeah.
sides. But yeah, I think the final verdict is throwing up at a house party. I invited you here. I expect you to be wasty faced.
I'm almost offended if you don't throw up at my party. Like,
I try to always throw up at your parties, particularly in the jungle juice that you make, because then it continues its mysterious reign.
I don't make it anymore. Brittany, what makes it?
I feel like it's. Did you not? I feel like it. I feel like at one point it was you making it, and then it has evolved to Brittany beginning it and you ending it. Has it just evolved to Brittany is in charge of it permanently?
Yeah. Yeah,
Ugh.
pretty much. I mean, because I would get drunk and just like add so many things to it.
Take back the helm.
I
I like the mystery juice.
I drank, I think, once at the last Halloween party. I think I had maybe one Jello shot. They don't do shit to me anyway, and then like a cup of the fucking punch. That's it. I didn't drink at all.
Oh, you gotta get your shit together.
Maybe, I don't know.
Get drunk
I
once
think
a
I'm just
year.
yeah. I think I just I don't know. Outgrew it. I didn't really feel like drinking and even seeing people, but it happened anyway against my.
It's because I always visit when it's your Halloween party. So you're like obligated to play parents inviting people over to the house.
All right, next one.
Okay.
We gotta start. We gotta start fucking pounding these out.
All right, next one. Playing music and video sound in a public place. I'm gonna say like in a meeting, because its alternative is a little higher level. So we're gonna say accidentally pulling out your
Yeah.
phone and playing a music or video in a meeting, versus pulling out your phone and accidentally playing music or video while trying to discreetly poop in a public restroom. Speaking of trying to quietly poop in peace.
I mean, I definitely get cringe when somebody's just like playing music in public. That sucks.
Oh
I
my
used to
god.
know I used to know this guy at one of my jobs where like I'd be like in the main office like talking with like the boss, and then this guy would just walk in while I'm having a conversation and just start playing music on his phone, and then he's like looking around smiling like are we just supposed to start a conversation around this now? Why are you weird? Why are you doing this?
Why are you doing this to everyone involved? You're subjecting us to this experience.
It's just so weird, like, okay. And it's always just like Nickelback or something popular at the time. And it's just like, can I help you? Like, this is an important conversation we're having.
Yeah. And you're just here now with your sounds.
I definitely think it's far more embarrassing to do it in a meeting, because that is a glaring example that you weren't paying attention at all, because you were on your phone. You were like la da da, and you click on something, and it's just like you've announced to everybody that you don't give a shit.
Yeah,
about
that you don't give
there.
a flying fuck. I would agree with that.
Whether you do or not.
Which, if you don't want your job anymore, fine. If you'd like to keep it, not so great. All right. Going in for a kiss and getting a hug, or going in for a hug and accidentally kissing?
I think you added the going in for a hug and accidentally kissing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was a couple that I was like, there's perfect counterbalances to this.
It's
both
clear
are extremely awkward.
It's clear that like one is like a thought from the guy's perspective and the other one's from the girl's perspective.
Yeah, they're equal and opposite.
I've never done this. I've never been like this is the moment I'm gonna get it. This is where I go in for a kiss. Like, I've never had that happen. It either does or doesn't happen.
Yeah,
but
I've never experienced that. I have experienced the going to hug someone and you guys both choose like the same direction to tilt your face, and you're like, oh,
you don't do that. It's a dominant hand raise up, and then your other hand is like lower. You're announcing your position.
Yeah,
and
which way does your
the
face
other person
go? Your face, I feel like if I hug you with my right hand up, I'm gonna tilt Left?
To the left.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's how your fucking body naturally moves. That's how you do that. Anything
Yes.
else, and you're asking for the kiss.
Well, the ambidextrous bitches be fucking it up because I've definitely gone to hug someone and we accidentally, like, end up in this weird, our faces are way too close together situation.
What happens then is it is the fault of the second person. So the first person to go in for the hug, they're announcing the direction. If the second person then chooses the wrong direction, that's entirely on them. It is their fault.
Have you ever hugged someone and you know how most people do a cross hug where it's the one arm up, one arm down? Have you ever met someone
Yeah,
that then
I think
responds
that's
to
usually
that
how I
with
do
either
it.
2 arms up or 2 arms down? Because I feel like that's how this fucking happens.
Like an 8th grade prom date thing.
Yeah, like a really shitty 8th grade prom date.
Who the fuck hugs like that? That's
I
that's
don't know,
weird.
short people and tall people. I don't know what to tell you. I've definitely had that experience. I don't think it always ends up in the accidental face bumping, but I've definitely had that experience.
Now I feel like if you're going in for a hug and accidentally kissing, it is embarrassing, but I feel like it's not as embarrassing as the other
Oh,
one.
if you
'Cause the other
intend to
one is
go in
like
for a kiss and someone gives you a hug, that's
you're
like
basically getting
life
shot
ending.
down.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
awful.
other person is like astutely aware of it too, so it just adds
Yes.
to the burn. Like,
Yeah,
ooh,
it's
everybody,
kind of garbage.
everything about this is awkward.
Everything about this is fucking horrible.
All right.
So that one was going in for a kiss and getting a hug. Next bracket. Mismatched handshake or fist bump, or missing the high five entirely. I will also say that a sad high five qualifies in this one.
Now I'm a professional high fiver, and I actually host classes on how to give a professional high five. So I don't think it's embarrassing because for me that is an opportunity to teach you how to high five.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think a mismatch, like if you're going in for like a handshake and they have like a fist bump, and it's just like, oh well,
my
now
God.
we're in a weird dance. And
If
this
I
sucks.
went to a work meeting and I went to shake someone's hand and the little fist went out, that's horribly awkward. I'm like, we can't talk again. Whatever business we were about to conduct is over. It's too
Again,
late.
same rules as the kiss hug person. Is it's like whoever engages, that needs to be mirrored. The second person, if they go in for a fist bump after a handshake hand has been laid out, it is your fault.
Yeah, and sometimes there's only milliseconds of difference, so you really got to be on the ball with switching it up. Yeah, no, I agree with you that missing a high five, like that's just, it's more of an opportunity to give a jab, have a good time, really stoke some camaraderie.
Alternatively, what you can do is from now on, if you're going in for a handshake and they do a fist pump, you just immediately double down and go, paper, I win, ha!
That is also, that's the recovery option from going in for a handshake on a fist bump. There is
Yeah, some
no
of these
other
have
recovery
recoveries.
option. Ah. Okay, so that one's going to be mismatched handshake / fist bump is significantly more awkward than missing a high five. Okay, so the next one is going to be not remembering someone's name and or getting it wrong versus calling out to your friend that you see in public only to discover that it is a different person.
I've done both of these.
I'm going to go with, I feel like not remembering someone's name, you can kind of finagle your way through. So I'm going to add the caveat here that you very clearly to that human being don't remember their name and or you very clearly call them the wrong name versus seeing your friend in public and calling it out, catcalling them, and then it's fucking someone else.
I've definitely done the thing where like I'm calling out to the person because like I'm pretty sure I know them, and I'm like,
Stacey!
oh hey,
Stacey! Oh,
Keith, and then like I'm like calling them out, and then like they turn and look at me, and then I just immediately like look over their shoulder, and I'm like still calling Keith, and I just like walk past them, and I just keep going and never turn back.
You're like, Keith, ha! That's like it's the same level of, oh, I don't know if this is on the list, but when you wave at someone that you either think you know or you think they're waving at you, and you
That's
wave
on the
back.
list. That's on the list. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
But not remembering someone's name, that's an easy one. Because I mean, if you get it wrong, I mean, you shouldn't have fucking been as cocky. You flew too close to the sun, Icarus. Enjoy your fall. No, but if you don't, I mean, because I'm really bad with names and faces, but like I'll definitely be like
just pretend.
Oh, I like I'll be like, what was your name? And then when they say their first name again and introduce yourself, you need to fucking remember it, first of all. But then you go, no, I meant your last name. I remember your first name.
Yes, I feel like there's a lot of ways to work around not knowing someone's name. Cause
Yeah.
there's so many people at work. I don't know everybody's name. It takes me so long to get everybody's name. So I just don't refer to them by name until I for sure know who you are. But then it's also awkward.
You are a number. Cause prisoner 5167.
Exactly. But then there's this lady that's a waitress bartender at this local restaurant that's up here. I have known this person for 2 years. She is so nice to me. She gives me free drinks and food all the time. I only recently have cataloged her name in my brain, and I have asked someone every single time I have been out and interacted with her and gone, what is this lady's name? Because she is so pleasant. I don't know what the fuck her name is.
Is it that she has like a boring, forgettable name?
No, she has an interesting fucking name. Like, there's no excuse. There's no excuse.
You're just a bad person.
Yes. No, 100%.
Okay, I'm a bad person too.
100%. I just, every time I'm like, holy shit, there's no fucking reason for me to forget your name. Like, it's not like it's just, oh, it's fucking Karen is Karen is Karen. Like, her name's fucking Chanel. I should remember that.
Because you wear Chanel.
I'm pretty sure her name's Chanel. No, it's just it's a unique name. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I could be fucking wrong. I've forgotten it before. I wouldn't put it past myself. All right, which one are we deciding?
I mean, I'm gonna say call out to a friend you see in public because that's far more dangerous to me.
I guess, because
I've been there.
I feel like it's easier to play that off. I think not remembering someone's name and like directly stating that information to them is worse.
Getting it wrong, yes, you're right. But not remembering someone's name, that's not that big of a deal.
No, but I'm saying I added the caveat of they know that you don't remember their name or they know that you got it wrong.
I'll agree with that. Yes, that's again,
worse to me.
That is hubris. It is your own fault, and you get to stew in your embarrassment.
Okay, then are we calling that worse?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's my old boss used to email someone in our HR department and call her like any name that started with an S except for her fucking name on every single email.
Was he just like negging her though? Because that's a fucking strategy that people learn
this
from
guy
that dumb movie.
Fucking could have been because he's an asshole. So I don't know. All right, next bracket. Food stuck in your teeth, on your face, or in your beard. Pick your favorite. Or doing the directional dance with a stranger. So like when you both go one way, when you both go the other way, and then you do it fucking again and again and again.
Yeah. What I've started doing is the second I'm like in doing a directional dance, I will switch sides, and then once they do it, I'll switch once more, and then I'll just keep walking. If I run into you, your fault.
I just stop moving. The second we start a directional dance where we both go one way, I don't move. I wait for you to pick your next lane, and then I will go.
See, that's smart. That's some genius fucking strat. But like my problem is that I have like this like hamster wheel in my brain of like efficiency. So like when I move, I don't stop. I'm like go.
I mean,
go. Like
same, but my little
I'm
hamster
mapping out
wheel.
efficiency when I'm in crowds. Like how do I want to navigate this so I'm doing it efficiently, and I'll do that. So when I'm stuck in there, it's easy to get into a causal loop because of that. Like my brain doesn't know you can stop. You can slow down. I don't do that. No.
Okay, see, I have maybe not the same exact line of thinking, but the same like I'm on the most efficient path. Let's go. And then I have to sit there and like manually pull the brakes on the fucking train and be like, just
Yeah,
wait,
that's what I'm
just
saying.
wait, just wait, because I want to zip around someone. And I have to be like,
Yeah.
no, this will pay off. Just give it time. I think food stuck in your fucking teeth, because who the like, everybody does the directional dance with a stranger, and it's just like, we moved on. Food stuck in, on, and around your face fucking sucks, because it sucks to tell someone that it's there, and it sucks to have it there, and I don't know why it's weird, because it
a fucking
happens to
problem.
everyone, but it's always weird. It's never, like, even if you've known someone for 10 years, it's always weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it is.
I mean, it's embarrassing for every party involved. I mean, so is the other one, but this one's definitely more of like a, hey, like, because now you're talking. It's not like a, oh, excuse me. Like, you don't even have to talk in the other one. This one requires words and conversing.
Words, conversing, some amount of someone inspecting your teeth. Sometimes they ask you to get it out of their teeth. And if you're not comfortable with that, that's a whole fucking issue.
But then also you gotta like, because now you're doing the directional dance, but like in a different social state of like, oh, did I get it? Oh, no, it's still there. Like, oh, what about now? No, it's still there.
Get a little more
that's
spittle in your mouth.
That's the same as the directional dance.
Hold on, let me lick your teeth. Come here. Yeah, that's, to me, that is way worse than the directional dance, because it encompasses the same issues.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so food stuck in your teeth trumps the directional dance, because it's just the same shit. Let's go with accidentally brushing someone's, we're gonna expand upon this a little bit. Accidentally brushing someone's like waist, butt, or boobish area. Anything that's like more of a private region.
I mean, that's definitely what I was shooting for, but I just settled on waist area.
I'm adding context because I'm gonna face it up against, so accidentally brushing someone in areas you don't normally touch as another human being, unless you're intimate with each other, versus being caught during, quote, the act.
Now, I definitely think that accidentally brushing someone's area is excusable, because it's usually like some people talk with their hands and it's like, oh, sorry, and it's just like, yeah, no problem. It's a one and done thing, unless like the person you brush up against is super salty for some reason and they're like just exaggerating it, or maybe the person's an incel and now they think that you have a crush on them. Like, those are weird, but
they're kind of
far
outlier
less likely
experiences.
to happen. Yeah.
I would, okay, by the act,
being caught in the act, that is
which act are you referring to? The solo act or the group act?
I don't know.
The dynamic duo. Either way, I guess.
I've definitely been caught in the act, but not the solo act. But I feel like
that's more awkward than accidentally brushing up against someone. Because I agree with you that unless you meet like an abhorrent human, it's probably fine.
Overall it's definitely more, because now there's like, how were you caught? Where were you caught? Was it the living room on your birthday? Like,
there's added context to this. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go with being caught in the act is worse than brushing up against someone accidentally.
Agreed.
Okay. Pronouncing a word hilariously incorrect, or standing in a fake line.
Now, I've definitely stood in a fake line before. Like, Costco's like infamous for it, because some people just like
some people just queue up for no fucking reason.
Well, I mean, yeah, some people, like, especially in the food court, they'll just like, they're like, I got my groceries, time to leave. Oh wait, I'm just gonna stand right here now. No real reason. Because now you gotta like, are you in line?
There's like a study.
Then fucking move!
There's a study that's been done about like the percentage of people that will just wait in a line, even though it doesn't exist. Like science will just create an arbitrary line and then wait for other people to get in this line and see how many other people just get in and wait, and for how long before they figure out it's a ruse.
If there's like more than 5 people in line and Brittany and I are leaving Costco, I'll just be like, I don't need a hot dog. Fuck it. Keep walking.
Yeah, no. I'm good. I'm all right. No, I'll do so much to circumvent a line, whether it's self-checkout, fucking cutting you
Yep.
off on the way to another
Yep.
line that has less people. I don't fucking care. I'm not waiting. I don't.
Yeah.
I have brain
Life
surgery to
is
get
far too
to. I'm not
short.
doing this.
And you'll notice it's old people too that are like, "Oh, you got all the time in the world." No, you don't. You especially don't. I don't know why you're wasting it
You
here
of
for a
all
hot dog.
people do not. Yeah,
Go travel.
I think I
Social
would
Security's gone in 10 years. What are you doing?
run. Run while you still can, grandma.
Yeah,
I
you
think
smelled the flowers 30 years ago. Move on.
get out of the Safeway, grandma. There's other flowers outside. I think I would rather hilariously pronounce a word in an incorrect fashion than stand in a
I
fucking
mean,
fake
yeah,
line. I'd feel like such a jackass if however many minutes or hours later I got out of a fake line and was like, "Oh my Jesus Christ."
not to mention like you and I have done this multiple times to each other even on this podcast. Like it's such a normal thing and
Yes.
I'm vehemently standing against shaming people for it. That means that you are reading. That means that you read this
Yeah.
word somewhere and maybe you didn't know how to pronounce it. That's fine. Shaming people for that? Fuck you. Not okay.
Yeah, no. It's a
Also,
fucking
some
douchebag
people have
move.
weird dialects. Like some people have weird dialects where like they'll pronounce some words differently
Like zebra and
and
zebra. Technically, zebra's fucking wrong. They say zebra where
yeah,
the fucking zebras are from, so it's probably that.
yeah. Well, not to mention like they call it Zed in
Yes,
the
in
UK
most
too.
fucking other languages. So the
It's
point
weird that
is,
like in the America that we were like, I'm gonna make it so that it rhymes with like every fifth letter. DEGCZ.
I'm gonna make it so
What a
you feel like you're having a
jackass.
stroke while you're saying this. But
I'm gonna
everyone.
make it so that every time you're on the phone and you're reciting the spelling of your name to somebody, they gotta be like, was that a C or a Z? C.
Yeah.
Was that C or Z? Z.
No, could you use the military
Garbage.
definition?
Worthless. I'm not in the military, so no.
Alpha, Beta, Charlie. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. All right, next bracket. So that one's standing in a fake line, 10 out of 10 worse than hilariously mispronouncing a word. Okay, next bracket. Sneezing into your hand, and now you have a weird, like, cobweb situation going on, or accidentally liking someone / an ex's photo from years ago. So this includes even if you're just snooping on someone
That's
you've recently
no,
met.
stop. That's not even that. That is the worst scenario. That. Like I've sneezed in my hand to be like, ew, gross, but it's like it happens. It's a natural thing. The other thing is far worse. There's no recovery. You're not like, sorry, I accidentally hit it because I was
And the
looking through
problem
something.
is,
Like, what do you
there's
do?
no recovery because it sends that notification. Even if you
Yeah.
unlike it, it's like Rachel liked Gamage's photo from 5 years ago at 3 a.m.
Yeah, and
What the fuck?
because I've been in that scenario where like I'll see that I have like a like from something and then I'll go to it and I'm like, it's not here.
Oh,
So
I've had someone like my photos at that like 3 to 5 in the morning interval.
not okay.
And I've been
not
like,
okay.
we don't know each other well enough for you to even be doing this. This is weird.
I'm gonna hide this photo.
Yeah, I'm gonna delete you, and we're gonna never talk about this again because that's not okay.
That is yeah. Next one.
All right, next bracket. You walk up to the wrong car, and I'm gonna add the caveat of someone else being in it because walking up to the wrong car, embarrassing. Walking up to the wrong car and there's another fucking human being in it as you go to jiggle the door handle, awful.
Yeah, they
And
think
then
you're a fucking serial killer.
yes. And then that is versus your zipper being down, but someone is calling you out on it.
I definitely think the walking up to the car is worse. Like zipper down, that happens. Especially because some people like to do that after they wash their hands and they'll forget.
Yeah. That's fair. Why would you do that after you wash your hands? Do you just
I don't know. That was an excuse. I don't do it. I was just thinking of it.
But initially I was like, yeah, okay, like wash your hands and then pull your zipper up. And then I went, hold on a minute, because I was just picturing like a dude at a urinal waddling over to the sink, washing his hands, and then putting his junk away and putting the zipper up. Yeah, I would think walking up to the wrong car with someone else in it is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Because then they're just looking at you. Have you ever...
And again, like from their perspective, are you homeless? Are you asking me for money? Are you trying to carjack me? What's the situation here?
What is going on here?
Like, you understand, like, I'm in a fucked up position, but this other person doesn't. They're jumping to conclusions, and you have been included in those conclusions.
And the conclusions consist of what the fuck? Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Walking up to the wrong car with someone else in it is definitely worse. Have you ever seen, there's a video where a kid intentionally gets into a different lady's car? And he goes, Mom, why are you kicking me out of the car? And she's just sitting there going, what the fuck? Who are you? Okay, all right. Are you ready? Next bracket. Use a master ball on a low-level Pidgey or Rattata, etc.
That's rough.
Or get your Erngathrazox the Mighty ritual wrong and accidentally summon Erngathrazox the Just Alright instead. Which is worse?
That's a rough one.
I think using a fucking
it's really
master ball on a low
It's really
level,
easy to get the ritual wrong. I mean, if you use your master ball, you could just reload the game if you're fast enough. But getting your Erngathazarox ritual wrong, that's pretty rough, and it can be permanent.
Yeah, but like that's the thing is I feel like it happens more often than people talk about, so I don't really think it's that embarrassing. Whereas I think voluntarily kind of going through the process of using a master ball on a low level Pidgey is like I've given up on life.
No, because I mean, like, you're going through your items and you accidentally hit the master ball instead of the poke, and you're like, God damn it. But
I guess, but I feel like that's easier to catch than accidentally summoning the Just Alright instead of the Mighty.
Yeah, exactly.
You're saying exactly. I still don't know which one you're siding with.
The ritual wrong is the worst one to do.
Oh, really? I was going the other way.
No, it's embarrassing to use a master ball on some shit, but that's salvageable. Not to mention,
you're saying because the Erngatharox, the Just Alright is permanent, that it's more embarrassing because you can't redo that.
Yes, and everybody knows. It's written all over your face. Literally, like the runes get carved into your face. It's done. It's a done deal.
Gotcha. Okay. I understand. All right, next bracket. So, the next bracket's going to be think your name is called for an order and you walk up as someone else does and it's definitely not your order.
Yeah.
Or introducing your friends to an old friend and then you realize that old friend is just awful.
I can't relate. I don't understand that one. That one's clearly a you one.
Yes, it is. And it's because at one point when at one point two of my friends, my longtime friends, moved in with me, and one of them's life and personality had kind of gone downhill, and the other one was still the same person. And it became abundantly clear when we had the like, oh, welcome to the area. These are all the people that I've met here party. And they were just fucking weird and uncomfortable and awful to every other fucking human being there.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it was
I remember
like,
because
oh,
said friend was then introduced to one of my friends, and then like less than an hour later, they were like, "Hey, so and so," and then they just show their dick.
What?
You don't remember that? They showed fucking Roy his dick. You don't remember that at all?
I didn't know about this. I've never known about this.
Yeah, Roy's just like, because like the year after that, he's just like, is that guy gonna be there? And I was like, no.
I did not. Can you tell me the story? I've literally never heard this.
I mean, that's what happened. I think that was our first big one. It was a clusterfuck of a party. I mean, it was a
Yes.
fun party, very
But
eventful, but like
yes, it
a lot.
was a pretty good party.
Like when you add so many things to the soup and you keep adding things to the soup, eventually you're getting like weird shit
Much
in there,
like
like
your
a
jungle
dish
juice.
sponge and a
Yeah.
fucking and corn. Like it gets
dicks,
disgusting.
apparently?
It happens.
Okay, how did he show his dick to Roy? How did that fucking come up?
He like did it through his shorts, like. But I remember Roy was at my computer desk. I was just like, hey, Roy, and then like Roy looked and he's just like, and Roy's like, why am I here? Anyway,
I think introducing your new friends to an old friend that's just awful is significantly worse than walking up to an order that's already taken.
yes, I mean, it depends
Based off
on,
of this fucking information that I didn't know.
I think it's a case by case, but yeah, like
In this
it has the
particular
potential to be
instance.
way worse than the other thing.
See, okay, so what I was talking about is when I went to like an event or a house party with like my Humboldt friends, like the school, fucking was like super weird with my other friend Chris. And like kept hitting on him to the point where Chris was like, "Hey, it was funny like 5 minutes ago and it's not anymore. Please stop trying to touch my asshole." And then he wasn't allowed back in their house. And I was like, "What are you
Yeah.
doing? What are you doing?" So same energy, different party. I did not know he showed his dick to Roy. Why are these back to back? Next bracket. Someone walks up to you like you are old friends, but you do not recognize them. Or you walk up to someone and remember being great friends, but they do not remember you. Which is worse?
Now, I've definitely had the first one happen to me multiple times where even people at Staples were like, "Dude, hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Hey, you."
Dude, I gotta be honest, that is half the reason I don't like visiting where I went to high school is because so many people come up to me and they're like, "Oh my God,
Oh my
Rachel,
God.
hi!" And I'm like, "Hi!"
Like, look, I was going
How's
through
it
some
going?
things and listening to Linkin Park. Like, I'm not going to remember, I don't even remember a lot of math equations. That's untrue. I remember more math equations than I do
People. Yeah.
who spoke around me. My problem in high school was, like, our high school wasn't a very, like, cliquey high school. Like, there were kind of groups, but they were very blurred lines.
Yeah.
But I always did my own thing where I would just sit at my locker and read. And then for some reason, I don't know how, but that would attract a bunch of weird people to my locker around me. And that would be my friend circle. And then they would like be, "Oh, you're the start of this group." And I'm like, "I don't even know your names. So that's can't be true."
Like, this cannot possibly be the reality here.
Don't spread rumors that I'm starting a gang because that's not what's happening here. You walked up to me.
I was just reading. It's not my fault. You guys are all weird.
God, fucking so many weird people in high school. But yes, I think that is because like now I'm an asshole and you put that on me.
But I agree with you on that front, but I feel like if I walked up to someone and remembered being friends with them and they clearly did not remember me, I would feel so fucking weird.
Or even the only thing I've had close to that is where I've been like, "Oh, hey man, what's up?" And like they had no enthusiasm to see me like, "Oh, hey." It's like,
yeah.
ugh.
I feel like that is
I guess
worse than someone
I
else
guess I'll
walking
murder
up
myself
to me.
now. Yeah, all right, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, because it's like, oh god, what's happening?
I've left no impact on this world. My legacy is null and void. What am I even doing?
No one even knows me. Getting stood up at a bar/restaurant, so like getting stood up on a date, or just going to a restaurant alone.
I think getting stood up is worse.
Oh god, yes. I 1000% agree, because I intended to go there alone. I did not intend to go there alone if I'm supposed to be meeting up with someone.
Especially like with theaters. I'm of the belief of theaters don't need to be a group activity. It's fine to just go see a movie by yourself. But if you go to a restaurant and you go table for two, you are now putting yourself in the position of they're expecting another person to show up. And when it's been like 40 minutes and you just like like, just kind of slink out the door like a cat with tape on its back. Like, you are ashamed, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so that's pretty unanimous. Getting stood up is significantly fucking worse than just going to dinner by yourself.
Yes.
All right, downloading the wrong vampire show and just thinking that everyone's talking about porn for like 10 years, or sexting the wrong person.
Now, I've definitely done one of those. I've spoken about it before.
I know
the Vampire Diaries, and yes, that's just funny to me. It's not even embarrassing. But if you're sexting the wrong person, like if you, first of all, you're sexting a stranger, like you're just like openly like,
I'm
hey.
picturing more like you go to send a sexy text message and like you accidentally send it
and it's
to
grandma.
like an acquaintance
that's
or
way
a friend. Yeah, or like your mom. Like one time in high school, I was real pissed off at my mom. This isn't sexting, but I was really mad at my mom. And I think I said something like, I was trying to text my friend and be like, my mom's being a bitch. And I accidentally sent it to my mom. And my mom was like,
you recovered by going, oh, wrong
you're
number.
Grounded. I said, who's this? No, straight up, she was like, you can go work on your project and then you're immediately grounded. I was like, that's fair. And my mom listens to this podcast so she can enjoy the re-feeling of that sensation of her freshman high school child calling her an asshole. All right, so sexting or the vampire thing is worse?
Sexting easily.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the vampire
because I've done
thing
one
is
of
fucking
those
hilarious.
and say the other is worse.
Yeah, no, I think if you accidentally sexted the wrong person, that would suck. Okay, texting the wrong person or waving at someone who is waving at the person behind you.
That's worse. Not the texting. We just covered texting by sexting, and like that's just like I do that as a gag all the fucking time.
Waving at the person that's behind me? I know, every time you pick me up from the airport.
I'm gonna start. No, I you know, when I'm bored, I'll just like, how do I start some drama? And I'll just text the wrong person, and I'll just say like a bunch of shit. Like I'll text you, and I'm all like, Rachel's being a fucking bitch today.
Rachel's a real
wrong
big
number.
cunt.
Oh, sorry, wrong person. That was a different Rachel.
Someone grabbed I like put my card down to pay for dinner or something, and they went, "What's your middle name? It starts with a C." And I said, "Yeah, it stands for cunt." And I just watched it. It's like slowly register what I said and get like offended on my behalf and then deeply confused. It was incredible.
Yeah, waving back at somebody who's waving at someone behind you is far worse because they
it's
clearly see you.
immediate embarrassment.
There's no way.
Texting is just oops, wrong person. Unless you call your mom a bitch, then it sucks. But how often does that happen?
Still not really embarrassing though. It's like
I
this
don't
person.
know.
Like
it's like
if you text the wrong person, and I mean at worst it's like they know you, and it's a little weird. But at most of the time you're texting a stranger. They don't know you. Like therefore, how is it embarrassing? It's over and done with.
You get grounded and your mom's slightly offended, so it is what it is. All right, next bracket: tripping and eating shit, or pushing a pull door, or vice versa. I think tripping and eating shit is worse.
Yeah, I will say.
What if you push a pull door so you trip and eat shit into the door?
Then it's really embarrassing because
it's really bad.
Because it's one of those like bad falls because you know in this scenario that it's one of those bad falls where you like lose your footing and you're trying to regain balance with your arms. So but you can't. So it's like this like weird slow just tumble over and. Everybody can see it, but I hate I slip on my feet a lot, but I don't think I've ever actually fallen down since I was a child. But I definitely like think that it's worse to like have an injury and be like, no, I'm okay.
Yeah, that's definitely way more fucking awkward than the door thing. Like I'll do the door thing like 3 times a day, depending on if I'm in a new place. Not to mention tripping and eating shit, rarer.
You can finesse the door of like if you're quick enough and you could like do the other direction and you're gold.
Yeah, just don't walk
Nobody
in so
notices.
confidently that you ram yourself into the fucking glass and you're fine. Yeah, so I would say tripping and eating shit, definitely worse.
Yes.
All right, wearing your clothes inside out slash backwards, or someone points out there is still a sales tag on your clothing.
Like that's such a both of those are such a nothing burger to
They're
me.
so
Like, okay,
mundane.
all
Yeah,
right,
I've
cool.
definitely A, worn things the wrong direction for like an entire day without people noticing, so like who the fuck cares? But then also B, I have noticed other people wearing it the wrong direction, and again, who the fuck cares? Sales tag
Yeah,
is
it's
awkward. Because that's like, I've been having this scratchy thing float around my
that.
body all
Yeah,
day, and I've yet to notice.
that's like only slightly more embarrassing than the other
Yeah,
one. Like
it's
it's
a
but
modicum more.
because now there's a conversation, whereas the other one's just like an okay.
Yeah, I would agree with you. So sales tag, marginally worse, but pretty
Yes.
vanilla. Next bracket, bumping into someone after canceling plans slash calling out of work, whichever it happens to be, or choking on your own spit and people have to ask if you're okay, and you eventually hit the point where you need to cough just once, maybe more, but you're already marinated in the shame of the act.
It is that one. It is that one. Bumping into someone after canceling plans is awkward, but like you can definitely finesse it some way. But the other one, that happens to me. I don't know why. It's something to do with me. I choke on my spit like 3 times a week, publicly, really badly,
I
where I'm
will
like, bleh, bleh, bleh.
I will live just fine for so many days by myself, and the second I'm eating or drinking in front of other people, I'm like
Yes, yes. One of the worst things that's ever happened to me is I had my mouth was full of like those sour, it was like either sour Skittles or sour Starburst, but then I did choke on my spit, but the problem was is it was like acid. So now like my whole throat is like torn up and like my airflow is just stinging and raw. Oh, that was the worst I've ever had.
Okay. Now imagine that situation, but now imagine you have stood up the person that was waiting at the restaurant, and as they leave to get back to their car, you guys run into each other.
All right, that's you can't just combine these now.
Well, I'm adding context to the bumping into someone after canceling and then choke on your own spit while
Yeah, what if
someone
you download
catches you in
vampire
the act.
porn while wearing clothes backwards, using a master ball on a Pidgey, while
Okay,
shitting yourself and
that
clogging the
is
toilet simultaneously? We'll be here all day. Moving next.
all right. So we're picking choking on your own spit is worse than
Yeah.
canceling plans and running into someone. Okay. Realizing you have body odor or having to tell someone else that they have body odor.
God.
Both are awful. Both are
Both
really
are awful,
awful.
but I have such a big fear about body odor too, where like if I smell somebody else smelling bad, I'm immediately like, is that me? Like,
Okay,
because some people get a sour smell, and by the way, it's usually because I know a lot of people that get like a sour smell, and they even say, like, I shower all the time. You have to make sure that your towel is clean and dry. Do
yeah, if
not,
your towel's moldy, it's not gonna help. Also, let your fucking clothes dry. If you left them in the
yeah,
washer too long, wash them again.
yep,
Honestly, though, okay, I have the same thing where I really don't ever want to smell bad, but if I had to
yes,
tell someone else that
yep.
they smelled bad, that's
That's the worst one.
horrible. That's awful.
Look here. Here's how bad it is. I've never done it, even though I should have
Yeah,
several
same.
times in my life.
Yeah,
I've never
absolutely
done it
same.
because I'm like, how can I do this?
Cause
Oh,
I would
I can't.
hate,
That's
yeah,
how.
no, cause I would hate to receive it. So why would I tell you? I'm like, let's just sit in the abstract concept of neither of us knowing that this is a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so realizing somebody else has body odor and having to tell them
absolutely,
is
absolutely,
absolutely
absolutely.
fucking worse.
Might
Um,
even be the worst thing on this list.
yeah, it honestly might be so far. It's the one that's made me the most viscerally uncomfortable. I'm trying to sift through. I like discover that for the past several years you've been using a D12 for your D20 rolls.
I found out that it's way too common where people are like, why do I keep getting bad rolls? And they're like, are you using your D12? Oh shit, I am. How long have I been doing this? It's very
That's
common.
insane.
I know. Good
Okay,
reason
all
to use
right.
the virtual one.
I got one. Instinctually saying I love you at the end of a call way too early in a relationship, or someone telling you the words I love you and you do not love them back.
Now, Brittany did the first one, by the way.
Did you feel like number 77 when she did it?
No, so the first time we ever said the love thing is, I think it was like 2 months into the relationship. Yeah, but she, like, we were on the phone together and we were ending the phone call, and you do that kind of thing where you're instinctually like, oh yeah, love you, bye, and she said it, and it was like 2 months into a relationship, and then I forget what she said after that. Like, she's like, oh, but I was
I
just
feel like
like,
that's all you can say is, oh.
but I remember saying like, oh, I love you too, like in a kind of a ha manner, but
It's one of my favorite Brittany and Gamage relationship stories. I feel like instinctually saying I love you at the end of a phone call is awkward, but like not loving someone when they genuinely tell you I love you feels
yeah.
so weird.
But she definitely messaged me after being like, sorry, I didn't mean to say that so soon. I didn't want to rush it.
She said, I don't actually love you. I hope you understand.
It was being that fucking cringe that early into the relationship where I'm like, I'll probably marry this dumb bitch.
Oh, you said that's the one for me. She already fucked this up. Oh, okay. I feel like then the not loving someone when they say I love you is
Yeah.
more awkward.
Yeah, because like do you just say like thanks,
I love you as a person.
or just like finger guns, ditto. Awful, all awful.
All right, next bracket. You put bears in the cave? I have never heard that expression, so I'm gonna go with bats in the cave versus bad breath. Which is worse?
You said bats in the cave?
Yeah, you're talking about when you have a booger in your nose when you put bears in the cave, right?
Is it bats in the cave?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard bears in the cave.
I've only ever heard bats in the cave because they're like, they're like hanging down from the top.
I wonder if it's like a colloquial thing where it's like every kind of region kind of has their own version of it.
Maybe, because I've definitely never heard of bears in the cave.
I've never heard of bats in the cave.
That's insane.
Interesting, but that versus which one?
Versus bad breath.
Bad breath is worse.
I think so too. Bats in the cave, you can recover. Bad breath, if you don't have something in, on, and around you to fix that, you're fucked.
It sucks because I fast up until 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and like when you fast, your breath is like way worse. Like I'll brush my teeth in the morning and like go out my
you gotta
day
like
and
balance
like
it out with Listerine
because you're fasting, like you have bad breath continually because that's what creates the bad breath.
Mm-hmm.
What I get is those little Listerine Ready tabs. Those are fantastic. I highly recommend them.
Yeah. Well, because it's the same thing as like getting your Listerine good to go. It's the same gist, just
it's like
more
what if you had a
accessible.
mint that was also mouthwash at the same time? Fantastic.
All right, next bracket. When someone says you look tired but you're just not wearing makeup, or mistaking someone for being pregnant.
The second one is way worse. I also don't wear makeup, so I don't have to worry about the first one. But the second one is like
mistaking someone for being pregnant is like the worst thing you can fucking do.
I will never say anything out loud regarding somebody being pregnant unless they have already said it to me first.
Yep, that's the best way to do that.
I will be like, why are you so fat? And then they'll tell me I'm pregnant. Okay. I thought you're fat.
Oh, I just thought you were fat. My bad. Oh, fuck. I wish I'd saved that one for a different bracket because that one's good. Offering booze to a recovering alcoholic, or your card gets declined / you don't have enough money to pay for the thing you tried to order.
The second one. The first one is stupid. You want a drink? Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it doesn't have
Yeah,
to be
I don't
awkward.
care about your 12-step program.
That's one of those. Well, no, that's just one of those situations. It's like, it's only awkward if you make it awkward. I didn't know you weren't drinking. If I offer it to you every time you come over and you're not drinking, then it's starting to get weird. But then just stop coming over. I'm an asshole.
Yeah. But yeah, card decline sucks.
Yeah, that's.
Like, it happens because, like, oftentimes in our world, there's a lot of online purchases and automatic bills that sometimes you'll go to use your card and your available balance will be under the threshold because 3 bills decided to automatically go. And then, like, a purchase you made 4 days ago that was pending has now all of a sudden gone through. And you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, well, in addition to, there's a bunch of reasons why your card can get declined that have nothing to do with the amount of money in your fucking bank account, too. And my favorite thing is when everybody always gets so hyper fucking offended. And it's like, I didn't do this to you.
Yeah, why don't you chill? Like, this isn't a sitcom in the 90s. Nobody's going to cut up your credit card. That's not a real thing.
Yeah, it's fine. Just
like, my card got locked a couple weeks ago because I was trying to buy a Dance Dance Revolution pad online, but it was from this website that's in Poland. And my bank was like, nope. No. You can't. And I called them because I got that fraudulent alert thing. And they were like, oh, yeah, so let me look at the account. Oh, we don't do business with that country at all. So no.
What?
Yeah, I had to get it from a reseller, and it was like double the price. I was kind of mad about it.
That's ridiculous. We don't do business with that country at all.
That's what he told me. I think he was just saying that because that's what his supervisor told him to say.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't help that the phone call was super sketchy, by the way, because I called and he's just like, what's your account number? And I'm like fumbling. I'm like, oh, I know my account number by heart. But then I was like,
me.
It's like this number and that number. And then they're like, all right, and what's your birthday? Oh, so it sounds like I'm fucking making it up.
That's my favorite part of my birthday on my legal documents is incorrect. So when someone asks me what my birthday is, when I'm like going to the doctor or something, I have to really quick go, this day. Because I have to remember what the fucking real fake one is.
Why don't you just make it that day then?
Well,
how off is it?
It's off by a month. So my birthday happens a month earlier. Legally happens a month earlier than it actually does that I was actually born. But
who the fuck like wrote your birth certificate out and like went, oops, I did 6 instead of 7 again. Silly me. Anyway, here you go. Have a nice day.
Yeah, well, a tired doctor wrote the incorrect fucking date in the one section that they check. So like, if I go to use my medical insurance or get a new license or sign some document that requires me to show my birth certificate, that one spot shows the incorrect date. If you look at any other documentation from that day, it's all the correct one, but you just have to, look a little bit lower. But I never changed it because my dad asked me the same question where he was all offended that I hadn't changed it to the actual day. And I was like, I get to be 18 and 21 a month early. You think I'm not going to take advantage of that? Hell no.
That's fair, yeah.
I'm going to go legally enjoy that. I'm going to go legally enjoy being 25 a month early and getting to rent cars for cheaper. Legally enjoy running for presidency a month earlier. And then at this point, I haven't changed it because I'm used to it, and it makes for a fun story, so. All right. Talking in a large group of people only to realize that no one has been listening or paying attention to your story, or saying goodbye to someone and you guys continue to walk in the same direction, and for whatever reason you decided to couple that with also applies to seeing someone at the grocery store multiple times.
Well, because that's usually how and where it happens.
I don't know if I've ever had that experience.
I do think that's worse, though, because now you're like, oh, hey, there you are again.
Yeah.
But the other thing...
I feel so dejected if if we're talking and I talk in a group and I'm like, oh, you've all disengaged.
But at the same time, like, it's kind of alone, like nobody's listening to you, so therefore
no one
you're
knows
only in your
that
own
they've
shame.
Unchecked. Yeah, it's at least private shame.
I have said on this podcast before that like I'm looking out for that person, and then I will lock eye contact and I will listen. I'm here for you.
No, Gamage looks
Like
for me at a party,
I'm the
locks eye
guardian
contact,
angel.
and goes, "Fuck you," and tunes out. I'm the guardian angel. I'm sorry, I just realized you said that. No, I do the same thing because I fucking hate when that happens to me. It sucks.
Yeah, me too. It sucks. So,
It's awful.
but I do think the other one is like it's a hell. It's a layer of hell that I have to go through where I'm like seeing the same fucker that I'm like not even good friends with. It's an acquaintance where it's just like let's play catch up, and then let's fucking
And then
point
let's
and
awkwardly
smile
play
and nod at
catch
each
up
other
again.
8 more times until I leave this grocery store. Sometimes I'll be like what do I have? Half the ingredients for a fucking burrito? Cool, I'm done. I'm out.
You're like, that's good enough. I got beans. I gotta go. Like, I need to escape this fresh fucking hell I was released into. Yeah, I could get that. I personally think that the large group thing is worse, but I will secede on this. Concede? Whatever you want to call it.
Secede. I'm leaving this country.
Speaking of mispronouncing things, I'm leaving this country now that I've mispronounced this. All right, the last thing that I have for you is doing all your podcast work 2 minutes after the scheduled start time of your recording, or going on a mushroom-induced sexual discovery journey while your tenant listens from downstairs. Which is worse?
Well, I've never done either of those.
I've been part of both in various contexts.
Like today, just in the last 24 hours.
Well, one of them in the last 24 hours. The other one happened like 3 days ago.
I do think that, first of all, if you're on mushrooms, then you're like, well, that wasn't me, so that's fine. Anything that person did I cannot be held accountable for his actions.
I don't know, but I think as someone who experienced both of these things, I think if I went on a mushroom-induced sexual discovery journey and found out someone else could hear the whole thing, I'd be fucking appalled. I would rather work on a project 2 minutes after the scheduled turn-in time, because that was basically my entire high school and college career.
Yeah.
I say the mushroom trip is worse, personally.
I mean, you're the expert here. I have no...
I'm voting mushroom trip. What tunes do you have at home, Gamage?
So, for music recommendations this week, I did want to throw in a twist in the form of music that you like or listen to that you think is embarrassing, or maybe something that you're hesitant to tell strangers that you listen to. Like, for example, some people may find it embarrassing that I enjoy the 10-hour long rendition of the He-Man singing "Hey Yeah Yeah Yeah,"
okay,
but I
there's
don't.
Reasons for that, though.
Like I enjoy listening to it. I don't find it embarrassing. So I actually had a hard time singling this one out because I do listen to a lot of music that I think is embarrassing. And by the way, the one I picked, I feel like there are more embarrassing ones, but this one has a lot of baggage with it. So first I thought, well, all the weird Japanese like rock music I listen to is certainly a contender. Like I'd find it hard to bring up Malice Miser or Oral Vampire, which is like kind of gothic Lolita music. And then I thought, well, video game / anime music is definitely something I don't bring up to strangers when asked what I listen to. And then I remembered I also have a hard time mentioning My Chemical Romance because I always have to preface with defending them and being like, well, no, you're perceiving them wrong because emo kids think that they're like poser music and non-emo people think that it's just emo music. So it requires a lot of explaining. So the song that I feel embarrassed to recommend or hard to explain to people combines elements of all of those. It is the song featured in the Blu-ray Director's Cut edition of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Complete titled Safe and Sound, written and sung by Japanese musician and singer Kyosuke Himura and Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance.
Beautiful.
And like I said, there's other songs that I listen to that are easily more embarrassing than that, but the fact that like I can't say the song without having to just explain every other bullshit in there and like know that one of those is going to flag me for something. It is a great song, though. It's a touching song about Cloud's trials and blah, blah, blah. It's a banger. I highly recommend it. It's got great vocals. You can find it on the credit sequence of the Advent Children Complete, which I think is free on YouTube now.
You
don't have to watch the movie because
it is on Spotify.
It probably isn't, honestly.
No, I don't think it is. I looked it up. Unless it's under a different name than Safe and Sound. Which one is it from? Final Fantasy VII?
Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Complete, specifically Complete because that's the director's cut edition. Like I said, it's a hard song to fucking...
To dig up. It's a hard song to dig up and emotionally accept. All right, my embarrassing song for you is gonna be I think that the soundtrack to the original Twilight sort of slaps. So I'm gonna go with Supermassive Black Hole. It does,
dude,
but also
no, shut up. Okay. I'm like the biggest Muse fan, and you're triggering me right now. Muse is a great band.
I don't
like that you're like,
disagree.
I'm embarrassed that I like Muse. Like, Plug-in Baby is a fucking jam. All right, the lead singer is such a great piano player that you could hear his piano playing in his guitar playing. It's great. Here's
the thing. I agree with you. I think Muse is great. I think a lot of the musicians on the Twilight soundtrack are great. However, because they are associated with the Twilight soundtrack, telling someone that you like Supermassive Black Hole by Muse instantaneously makes them look at you like, you fucking weirdo.
No, I disagree because I gotta say, not a big fan of Twilight, but I did watch the movie and like, when it got to that scene, despite being a Muse fan or not, I'm like, this is kind of hype.
Yeah, because it's a great fucking
It's the only
song.
good scene in the movie. I remember I was watching an interview with Josh Homme, the singer-guitarist of Queens of the Stone Age, and he was saying that, he said something that was crazy to me, where he said, genres are for teenagers. Anybody in their like mid-20s to 30s, if you're still only listening to one genre, then you're in trouble. Because music is about so much more. And the question was like, what do you think of Britney Spears' Toxic? And he's like, great fucking song. Don't confine yourself to a genre. And I feel the same way. Like,
yeah,
if you're like, I don't want to listen to that song because it was in a weird vampire movie, like, okay.
Yeah, get the fuck over yourself. Look, I don't disagree with your arguments. I'm just saying that I feel judged. So I don't bring it up.
Like, oh man, there's so many Muse songs that like I've been wanting to recommend, but I'm like, oh, this other song's in the way, or oh, I should recommend this week instead. But like they have a new album out, and like they have a song called "We Are Fucking Fucked," and it's so fucking good.
We are fucking fucked.
Yeah, it's about like the world is turning to shit. We've got all these viruses, and the banks are fucking us over. Billionaires don't care. The world is burning. Like it's good.
Nice.
That's a banger.
I'm adding it to my jams.
I didn't mean to accidentally recommend a not cringe song. That's on me.
It's okay. That's cringe enough as it is. Well, thank you for listening to this completely embarrassing, cringy podcast. If you liked what you heard or you just fucking hate us, please like, subscribe, and download on whatever your most favoritist podcasting place is. If you want us to talk about a thing, recommend a song, ask us for terrible advice, email us at whtpah@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at We Have That Podcast at Home, or follow us on WHTPAH, WHTPAH on Blue Sky. And next week, we will be tackling the illustrious and fine art of pop culture.
Okay.
Love you. Bye.
Well, I've been Off-Brand Gamage, and this has been We Have That Podcast at Home. Thank you very much. No, Rachel.
I've been Off-Brand Rachel.
No, Rachel.
I still love you, and goodbye. See, this is like when you say goodbye to someone twice as you're leaving the same place and keep running into each other.
Except we're just in a podcast.
And
this podcast actually is the most embarrassing
end.
thing.
Yeah, that is. Let me recommend to you an embarrassing thing to listen to. This. Welcome. You're here now. How was it?
All right, I'm leaving.
Bye.